Hi, folks. Welcome back to EU March Madness. We are counting down to our final. These are the round two results that you, the voters, picked. And oh, it was close. Both races separated by only dos votes. That was it. Marcel, Meg, Brennan are ready to break it down. In fact, the percentages are exactly the same. The winner won by 53% of the vote. The loser had 47. Both of them were the same way. 2 votes was all the difference that it made here, folks. First matchup, number one, Sword of the Jedi versus New Jedi Order Nightfall Trilogy. I gave a rousing speech, but it went over. 53% New Jedi Order Nightfall Trilogy. Meg, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this really proves that, like, the little we know of Nightfall trilogy, obviously people want more. We only had like the barest of outlines, the characters involved, like sketches of covers, but dang it, man, that won out in the end.
I'm telling you, it did. Brennan, is there any spite for Christy Golden, or was this the New Jedi Order is just all that powerful?
Well, that's the first thing that came to mind when I saw this. I was thinking, geez, people really don't like Christy Golden. You know, I'm fine with Christy Golden. I like some of her works, but I know that there's some animosity towards her for a variety of reasons. But it seems like a combination of animosity towards Christy Golden and just this need for more New Jedi Order propelled New Jedi Order to a narrow victory. I think New Jedi Order Nightfall is now going to be very hard to stop.
I agree. Marcel, how do Sword of the Jedi fans process this loss?
Well, I think the easiest way for them to help process this loss is for them to join the 53% and help us raid Michael Jan Friedman's basement for a copy of the Nightfall trilogy, because I'm sure he has it in there somewhere. And all it's going to take is a search party made up of all the Sword of the Jedi fans and all the Nightfall trilogy fans to find it.
Yeah, from what we understand, the first one was written, the second one was in first draft, second draft form, something like that. And that's when they called a kibosh on it. So the third one was just an outline. As far as I recall, that's kind of how it went, because they didn't like the direction of something with the Force that was being spent there. So they decided to scrap it. But yeah, obviously that has piqued a lot of people's interest here, and it knocks over our number one contender. And actually, I think we all picked this as our favorite to win it all, too. So big shocker. I should expect it, because it is called EU March Madness for a reason. Folks, that is not all. There was another very close one, a sliver of a race decided by 2. Marcel is sweating because it was another 47%. I'm so sorry, Marcel. But you're oh, Mandalora won. Brennan, you have a smile. Were you holding your breath earlier? Were you scared, or what'd you expect? What do you think? What are you thinking?
Well, I'm very relieved for my good friend Marcel, because I know that if Blood Oath won, some unspeakable crimes could have been committed. So we were very lucky. But in all seriousness, I'm surprised this was close. I expected it to be close, but perhaps not this close. Blood Oath had a good showing. Mandorla won it. Mandorla, is it the favorite to win still? I don't know, because it would have been very interesting to see Sword of the Jedi versus Mandorla. But we're not going to see that now. I wonder if New Jedi Order is stronger. Well, it beat Sword of the Jedi, so will it beat Mandorla? That's going to be interesting.
Interesting question. I'm going to shoot that over to Marcel. Marcel, with the fall of Sword of the Jedi, does this clear the way better for Mandorla? Is this Mandorla's last close call?
I think it's still going to be close between Mandorla and the Nightfall trilogy, but I'm very hopeful that Mandorla is going to win, because I don't think Mandorla would have beat Sword of the Jedi, but I do think Mandorla, and I implore everybody watching to vote for Mandorla. I do think Mandorla can beat Nightfall trilogy. So
okay, we'll give you your motivational speech later on here in a minute. I want to get to Meg real quick. Meg, I'm going to switch the question around that I asked Marcel earlier, but what do Blood Oath fans have to do? They're obviously a lot of Zek fans, a lot of Young Johnny Knights fans, kind of upset by this, but it was close.
Yeah. I think this was an amazing showing on Blood Oath's part. I wasn't sure that Blood Oath was going to make it this far, and I think to almost topple Mandorla in the second round was an amazing outcome for them. And so I would implore them to like stand firm behind my girl Nomi Sunrider. You know, come on, Nightfall's about Danny Quee. Do you want Danny Quee, or do you want maybe the best female character in all of the EU?
As clear as your dress, it's obvious that they enjoy Nomi Sunrider a lot, though. So Nomi Sunrider did win out. And I'll be honest, I didn't have a dog in this fight. I loved both of them. I've already talked about my love for Nomi Sunrider. I think she's amazing. Zach, I would have loved to have seen Blood Oath too. But Mandorla won. And now we have our final matchup, folks. The voting will start tomorrow. It is New Jet Order versus Mandorla. I am going to give everyone the stage for a minute and talk about, give your plea on who you want to win. Obviously, I am starting with Meg. Go ahead, Meg.
Yeah, I think everyone can guess. I'm imploring everyone to vote for Mandorla. I think that for the NJO fans out there, you know, we had a good run. There was 19 books, but Nomi never got anything besides comics. And so, you know, you have to go for the Nomi Sunrider novel. You just have to.
Okay, so the equivalent of comply. Good job. Brennan, your speech to the fans. Time to talk to them one-on-one, a little Brennan time.
All right, well, I know which way Marcel's going to go. And I suspect which way Matt's going to go, but I'm not for sure. I would love to see both of these. But just to be different, I'm going to implore the fans to vote for New Jedi Order. New Jedi Order is so interesting. It's an epic story, and there's so many more epic stories that could have been told within it. Mandorla would be great, but more New Jedi Order would be better.
All right, so finally we have our motivation, and Marcel has probably written this in his sleep right now. So Marcel, it's time to give it 100%, brother. Go for it.
We all love the New Jedi Order. There's no doubt about that. But Nomi Sunrider, perhaps the best female Jedi in the entire expanded universe, besides Jaina and Mara. But Jaina and Mara have a ton of novels. Nomi didn't get any of that. Vima Sunrider. We might even have seen Revan in that novel. Malak. We missed out with no Mandorla. That would have bridged the gap between a fan favorite, Tales of the Jedi, and another fan favorite, KOTOR. These are beautiful stories that people love, and Mandorla would have bridged that gap beautifully. NJO Nightfall would be nice, but we have a ton of NJO books to already look back on, and we don't know what they might have done to the Force or how Nightfall would have impacted or fit in with the rest of the series. Whereas Mandorla, guaranteed it was going to be a banger, and we just never got it. So, you know, vote with your hearts, vote with your conscience. Don't listen to Brennan, he's crazy, and vote for Mandorla.
All right, thank you for that. So we have 2 for Mandorla. We have 1 for New Jedi Order. Brendan is right. It is a hard choice for me, folks. I've already talked good about both of these. I do have to pick one. So I guess it's time for our little chat. Voters, friends, countrymen, hoojibs, lend me your ears. It's time to have New Jedi Order continue with Nightfall. I can't disagree with anything Marcel and Meg said actually about Mandorla, but let me add on to what Brandon said about New Jedi Order. If let's say we were to get one of these printed, New Jedi Order, I mean the Nightfall trilogy wasn't completed yet, so we could actually implant certain ideas in there that the authors could help do some retcons. As you know, New Jedi Order is famous, or infamous, I should say, for killing characters off. So who dies in this one? Ahsoka. And how does she die? Tripping over a hoojib, falling into a hole that she can't get out of, and she just dies, and no one cares. It's like It's like the prologue before the even book starts. That's how it happens. And then they tell the rest of the story, you know. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's a latrine for the Vong later on. I don't know. But anyway, so not an Ahsoka fan. Sorry about that. A little crude, but I really don't know how this is going to go. I kind of want to say Mandalore is going to win, but I have to get the charge for the New Jedi Order fans. Obviously, I'm a big fan of New Jedi Order. Perhaps one day Meg and I are going to go head to head on that, and she's going to eat my lunch over New Jedi Order. But for right now, let's see if NJO can pull it off. Either way, I will say this. I'll be happy. Marcel wants a rebuttal and the last word. How can I do this? Go.
Okay. I love the Ahsoka idea. And it even kind of works with the title Nightfall because she falls into a hole. But I just want to point out, Ahsoka never became a Jedi Knight, Citizen Tano. So it should be called NJO Citizen Fall. If we rename it that, then I might even change my vote from Mandorla to Citizen Fall. But I'm not changing it to Nightfall.
Since you didn't stick out with the Jedi and became a commoner, it could also be called Failed Jedi Fall if you wanted to.
Wow. Okay, so you guys are only adding to these jokester votes. Okay, so anyway, you're taking that shovel. I'm not minding it, but you're taking that shovel. You're lending it to the enemy. All right, folks, you're going to have to decide tomorrow morning. You're going to make the final decision. This is tomorrow, the last vote, the last round, the last day of EU March Madness, and we're going to be back to tell you who the winner is, folks.